by that point, you know, I realized, you know, as I stepped into church every Sunday, like, I was afraid. I was afraid, and that, like, I couldn't seem to, like, resettle myself. And again, like, you know, I have a lot of tools, I have a lot of friends, I have a lot of great people, and, like, I could not go to church without this, like, incredible amount of anxiety at that point. And Kristen knew that, and you know, that I think is really where, you know, up to that point it was like, okay, you know, we're kind of like checking in every week or two, how you doing? But it was at that point that I think you kind of stepped into high gear. You know, it seemed like almost after every sacrament meeting, Kristen would come find me, like, in the hall before, like, you know, I would, like, we were headed off to our classes or something. How are you doing? Like, what's going on? You know.
Well, each week there was something to add to that
conversation. There was something. Yeah, there was something to add, and you know, you went out of your way just to sit next to me. You know, either in Sunday school or in Relief Society. Just those little things, like, at that point when I was feeling so vulnerable and afraid, like, it meant a ton just to know that somebody like understood how I was feeling, and then was going to be there with me, just with me through it. And you know, I remember, like, my husband had got out of town with my kids for a conference, and I went into church, and I was just really kind of dreading it at that point. And I went in and sat down by myself because I was a little late, and luckily Kristen had come late too, and she came and she sat down right next to me, and it was just such a huge relief. Just that little act of mindfulness that was consistent all through that time just made a huge difference. Yeah. Why did you do that?
I think I remember, I mean, in some ways, like, I would say it because I was already your friend, always going back to storing it. If I were Laura, like, what would today be like if I were Laura? What's tomorrow like if I were Laura? And because I knew Laura well enough, and because she was so sincere to be so honest with what her feelings were throughout this whole process, and saying, man, I'm feeling really judged, or I'm feeling like I don't know where to turn now because I'm not feeling like I'm in a safe place. So she was also really forthright with what she was experiencing. That made it very real to me. It made it very keen that every time she came into church, if I were Laura, the feelings I would have are, am I okay here? Am I being judged? Am I accepted? Or am I getting funny looks? And, like, we all know what that feels like. Nobody wants to feel that way. I knew that Laura didn't deserve to feel that way, and hoped that at least having someone to be by her side and to support her would not only send the message to others that Laura is clearly a safe person and a great person to do that for, but also that she knows, that Laura knows that, like, there's someone who consistently is not afraid